Okay, awesome. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit smaller call today, but nonetheless, thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, Sally, today. So we have another special office hours today, in a special time today because Sally joining all the way from Australia. So special guest, but we have actually a bunch of fellows who are from East Asia and these regions where they normally cannot really attend our regular office hours. It's hard to coordinate all the world in one time, so I'm glad we could schedule a special one for some more people to join. Also from the east. So thank you so much for being here. Sally here works in Consensus Besu team, has been contributing to the Besu execution client for years, and yeah, we would like to get to know you, learn a bit more about what is it like being a core dev, or what your story is, and let's get started with your current work, or what is your role in the Besu? What kind of issues you deal with regularly? What sort of work you do in the client? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've worked for Consensus and worked on Besu for over 7 years now. So yeah, a lot has changed in that time. I started off more in enterprise feature side of things, and since I've transitioned over to mainnet, Besu is mainly focused on mainnet now. About 12 months ago, I sort of became involved in the performance team. So we've focused quite heavily on performance with the push for pushing the gas limit and that sort of thing. We have dedicated performance engineers. I'm not a performance engineer, but I'm working with the team to help with that work. A little bit sort of project managey, a little bit prioritization, but helping out with tasks, development tasks as well with that. But also as well, still doing core development on the main basic code. So yeah, I'm a bit of a generalist. I'm a bit across a lot of things. So I deal with RPCs, hive tests, various bits and pieces, anything, everything.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah. So generalist, yeah, focused on so many things, and I've seen that. So contributing for 7 years, that's incredible. I mean, huge respect for that. We get a bunch of people here. For them, it's more like 7 weeks or 7 months. So it's it's a very different stage, and I'm wondering if you can tell us more about how you got started. I mean, what brought you to Consensus, to Besu? How did you get started with the core development? Yeah, what was your journey like? Getting started.
Yeah, so Besu obviously is a client written in Java. I've been a Java developer most of my career, and a former colleague sort of reached out to me about 7 years ago and said, I work for this like crazy blockchain thing, and we're looking for Java developers. Would you be interested? And that's kind of how I got started. And blockchain, so that was 2018. Blockchain was pretty new. Ethereum was pretty new. I'd sort of heard a bit about stuff and listened to some podcasts, but I definitely didn't know very much about the technical side of blockchain. So that was all new for me when I started. And it's sort of a distant memory now, that is a long time ago, but I definitely, can relate to the struggle of like, it's all new and it's all weird and different. And yeah, there's a lot. And it changes so quickly. So every week, every month, there's a new, new EIPs, new gas limits, new everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so that would be an interesting question. Like, how do you keep up with all of this? Like, for 7 years, also, I understand you're coming from more like a traditional development role, like more like corporate sort of job, right? Like, how do you deal with this like crazy and open source and fast paced sort of evolving ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I think it's a challenge for everyone. I think you have to pick and choose. Like, I don't think you can be across everything. There is just too much. So I think, like I know I said I was a generalist. We do have a lot of specialists in the team, so I don't dive deep into every sort of like conversation thread that's happening about every EIP. I can't do that. And we do try within our team to sort of, someone will follow a particular conversation or thread or channel or whatever and share things within the team that sort of come up. I think you have to pick and choose. But if like I guess this group, it's more individuals rather than like working as a team. You're more working as individuals. But I think like whatever your project is, you have to be really focused on that and, keep abreast of other things as they're relevant. But you can't digest everything. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's it can be pretty overwhelming. Like it's a lot
AI
of
summaries.
content at the same time. Yeah.
We're using that
Right.
more and more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, 7 years. It's been a while. So I'm wondering if you maybe can give us some highlight of the of your Ethereum Peso career, like some interesting challenge or problem that you solved, something that you are specifically proud of, or you remember that you really enjoyed working on. Yeah. Anything comes to mind?
Well, recently going to the Berlin Interop, that was my first Interop event, so that was pretty cool. The merge was definitely a highlight. I was only peripherally involved with the merge. That was sort of around the time that I was switched across to mainnet development a bit more so. But like that, the merge is a huge achievement across like so many teams, and I think every hard fork it becomes more and more obvious what a coordination feat it is that that it happens every time.
Yeah, it's each one of them is like our little moon mission, right? Like
Yeah.
coordinating on all of this, and yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Also, yeah, your first interrupt, like I just met you there in Berlin. And after 7 years, like first time meeting all of these people across the teams, like it also must be a interesting feeling. Like, yeah, just being online and then finally meeting like just 100 people there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a change. Cool. Folks, if you have any questions for Sally, feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to write in the chat or whatever you prefer. We will take questions from the audience. I have some of them myself, but I want to give you guys opportunity. Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Um, I think we have at least one person working on this here, but yeah, if you have any kind of question about technical or some core dev advice, feel free to ask. Um, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm uh, I'm wondering like whether you have some advice or some um, like I wonder about the Java language itself, because like learning the programming, like I was doing C and then try to get into some other language, looking into Go, Rust, Java, and I was always told to avoid Java. I looking into it like it's a tough syntax. It's hard to optimize. It was challenging when I looked into it, and I still like have a huge respect for people who are able to deal with it on such a complex scale as Besu, as the whole client code base. So yeah, I'm wondering what's your take on this, like Java compared to maybe other popular languages, like where do you see the benefits, where or how do you deal with maybe some of these struggles, like some, I don't know, JVM optimizations, like being able to get the performance out of the client. Yeah, how do you feel about the language?
Yeah, good question. So Java, I've programmed most of my career in Java. I did do a bit of C at uni, but that's a long time ago. I've looked a bit at Geth, Geth code, Reth code. But yeah, it's Java object oriented is obviously very different to those languages. As far as so I find Java quite intuitive, but then that's like it's I'm pretty used to it. I'm pretty used to it by now. It's quite similar in syntax to C, but like the memory management and stuff is a bit different. Um, as far as optimize, how do we squeeze the performance out of it? That's obviously the focus, as I said, of my team. And yeah, I guess it's different to something like Rust. It's, you approach it quite differently, but that's the specialization that that my team is sort of is focusing on. And I guess the concerns are different, but the benchmarking and all the testing suites that the Panda Ops team have set up, like those are really, really helpful. And being able to compare across clients and get results really rapidly, that's very cool. But yeah, JVM warm up is really important in Java. So you have to warm up the JVM. So you have to run 15,000 iterations of a specific thing before you test whether it's for performance compares, versus like Reth and Geth, they don't need that kind of warm up. And Nethermind does, but I think it's more of a factor in Java than .NET. But yeah, there's different concerns to worry about.
Yeah, it's interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, huge respect. Like I was, like I think Java. Yeah, I mean, it's a powerful language. Just like hard to deal with for me when I ever looked into it. Like yeah, respect. Like it's great to see like having such a diverse set of clients with Besu as well. And I'm wondering now. Another thing that comes to mind is like what is some current or upcoming work that you are excited about? Like a lot of things happening, as we said, like many changes coming to Ethereum. So what are some EIPs or major features that you are going to work on, or you're working on something that you are excited about, something that you look forward to?
So block access list is one that we're kind of excited about. Fossil is another one. Justin's really excited about encrypted mempools. I haven't looked into that one too much. I've been focused on Fusaka stuff and helping out with getting Fusaka over the line, so I haven't looked too much at what's coming in Glancidam for my personal, what I'm going to be working on. So native account abstraction, that was one that I was going to maybe look at, but I think someone else is going to implement that now, but I'm sort of on call for mentoring, reviewing, so forth.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of new exciting stuff. Yeah, awesome. Okay, thank you, Sally. And yeah, before I exhaust my questions, we have a question from the audience. Developer Uchi, wanna ask something?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Sally. So I've got
Hello.
2 questions. One is kind of Kyra opinionated, and the other one is tricky. So let me just try it on you. So you've been in the space as a core engineer for 7 years plus now. So I'd like to know, what have you seen that have changed over the course of 7 years? And for someone who is coming in from a big career shift to be a core engineer, what are your advices from your years of experience? What should we stay off? What should we focus on? And if you were to do it again, how are you going to do it? And the second question, what are the plans for BSO for supporting stateless block execution for things like ZKVMs, guest programs? Client like Rets, Get, do you have some sort of implementations where you could provide state weaknesses and some other metadata with the transactions, and you can validate that, yeah, this set of transactions are properly executed without having to hold a full node or like an archive node or something. So what are the plans for that for BSO? Because it's important, so we could have BSO as one of the clients also that you could compare to maybe RIX5 or something intermediate to RIX5 to still enjoy the client diversity when doing things. ZK probes on like ZK VMs like SP1, yada yada.
Yeah, so I might answer the second question first. So with regard to RISC-V, ZK, and real-time proving and that sort of thing, that is a research area that we're looking into right now, how Java can compile or port over to a RISC-V environment. So yeah, that's definitely something that we're looking into. Also, how that relates to Linear. So Linear is a ZK EVM that uses Besu underneath. We work closely with the Linear team, so that's also an area of research. So that those sort of the nexus of those things. That's not something I'm personally looking into, but it's definitely something that the team is looking into. And then your other question about like what's changed in 7 years, like a lot, like just about everything has changed in 7 years. But how would I do it differently? I don't know. That's a really good question. Like we talked about, the fire hose of information and how do you keep across everything. And you just can't. But I mean, there might be different choices that I would make along the way. But I don't know, looking back, yeah, it's a good question. I probably would have gone to an interop event sooner, I think. I think I was a bit scared, actually, and it's a long way from Australia, and a long time away from family and stuff. But I think I would have probably done that earlier.
All right.
Yeah, it's always a long way for you guys. Like we need revenge of Australians and do the next interrupt somewhere like New
New
Zealand
Zealand or Fiji.
Yeah. It was actually an idea, and I think it would be so fair to you guys to to do something like that. Yeah. Ellie has a question.
Hi. My question is that why in the code base of Besu, I'm actually working on Besu as my project, and
Oh, did we
did Ellie
lose
drop off?
Ellie? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I think her connection got cut. Yeah.
I think Irene
She's
had
in-
her hand up as well. Oh, Ellie's
Yeah.
back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's back. Hey, Ellie, are you with us now?
sorry, I get disconnected.
No
Why
worries.
why the some of the services inside the code base has been defined as plugin, plugin API.
Yeah, so the plugin API, that's a way that you can have code that's outside of core Besu code, but you can have a plugin that will implement a specific service. So you can basically, so an example is like permissioning of transactions. So you might write a plugin that will allow certain types of transactions and filter out other types of transactions, but we don't want that code in Besu, but we want to give people the freedom to write that other their own implementation of whatever services. So there's various services that the plugin API will provide, and permissioning is just one example. Transaction selection. We have a RocksDB plugin, so you could have a different database plugin. That sort of thing. So Linear, I spoke about Linear. Linear makes extensive use of plugins for doing various things, and we've sort of been expanding on that plugin API in concert with Linear. But there's other people and projects using plugins for doing different things. But it is a work in progress. So if there's something inconsistent that you've come across, it could be the case that it needs work still.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries.
Awesome. Thank you. Glad to have like a technical specific basic question. That's awesome. Yeah. Any more questions, folks? Don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Feel free to use the space. Irene.
Hi, Sally. Amazing to see other women in the space. Thank God. So my question would be more about like your personal experience. So since you said that you come more from a traditional tech background, and now it's like 7 years that you're working on Ethereum. So like after understanding what Ethereum was all about, so the concept of decentralization, etc., what made you decide to stay rather than going back to something more Web2 or more traditional? Besides the technology also, because at the end of the day, so for example, my project is together with Lodestars, I'm like coding with TypeScript, but you could also code in TypeScript in Web2 companies in general.
Yeah, I just kind of fell in love with the technology, and it's such a rich landscape of problems to solve. Like there's just so many things you can dive in, like different areas you can dive into, different just there's so many problems to solve, and that the answers aren't, like nobody's figured out all the answers yet. So it's just really interesting to me that like Web 2, like not all the problems in Web 2 have been solved, but there's a lot of work where you're sort of implementing some where you already know how it's going to turn out, whereas Ethereum Web 3, like anything could happen.
Yes, basically I have more or less the same motivation. Yes, exactly.
And it's a rich tapestry of problems to solve, but the people are so interesting and motivated and excited and supportive and interesting. That's really valuable as well for me.
You mean people in terms of like personalities or like different interests, or like people in terms of
I guess just all the different client, like my Besu team, the Teku team we work closely with, Linear, but also all the other client teams. Like it's just I'm learning something from every person that I meet. Like there's there's no boring people in Ethereum.
Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Really nice question. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Feel free to keep asking, guys. We still have another half an hour to go, and Katya has a question. Nice.
Hi, Sally. I wonder about your early years of development career. How did you choose development as a field, as your career? How did you start?
Right. So way back at high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I really didn't know. I did actually do a year of medicine because I thought medical research might be interesting. But I did a year, and then at the start of second year, I decided that wasn't what I wanted to do. And I went to a computer science lecture because I had a friend who was studying computer science, and thought, yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, switched over, and the rest is history.
So it's your education, right? So computer science, and then you started to work as a developer?
Yeah, so I did a Bachelor of Information Technology, and I got my first job while I was still at uni. So that I remember that year very well. That was a bit of a struggle, being a bit overcommitted and trying to do honours and work like half time or something at the same time, and sort of feeling like I wasn't doing anything well enough, but got through that. And ever since then I've been a software engineer.
Thank you.
Always really liked it.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, love that we have so much female energy here today. It's inspiring. Nice. Folks, yeah, feel free to keep asking. I had some thoughts, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to meet Sally, to learn from her. And I'm not sure if I see all the messages in the chat. Like, in case I miss your question, let me know. Yeah. Okay. One question I was wondering about, or one thing I was curious about, is how in team or as a best, so like, how did you balance this, like what you mentioned before, sort of commercial private blockchain sort of business, and the mainnet? You mentioned that you moved more from one side to another, and but you also mentioned you work with Lina and so on. So I'm wondering, what is the difference there? Like how different it is to work on mainnet and like these more private use cases, and yeah. Um, yeah, if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I guess the concerns are different between mainnet and private or permissioned networks. The security concerns are different. The transaction volume is different. But with Besu, we made a decision a few years back to focus more, to prioritize mainnet over the private and private network features. And actually, in the last sort of 12 months, we've actually removed and deprecated, gone through a process of sunsetting those features and deprecating and removing some of those, so that we can sort of remove some of that tech debt from the code base in order to be able to speed up and simplify the mainnet side of things. And the plugin API is actually part of that. So if people still want to, use Besu in that way, then some of those features we've sort of said, well, here's the API. You can write a plugin to do that if that's what you want to do. And some of the code can be moved out of Besu into a plugin, because it is actually really hard to focus on all of those things, and for Besu to sort of be a Swiss Army knife that's trying to do everything, and like me trying to study and work at the same time, you feel like you're not doing a good job of anything that's important. So yeah, we sort of recognize that in Besu, and I mean, these things take time, but yeah, some of those features have now been removed from Besu, but we do still support permissioned networks in addition to mainnet, and we work with so Besu. A lot of the contributors to Besu work for Consensus, but it's also open source. So we do have some folks from Kaleido who help out with Besu as maintainers, and they are more focused on the private and permissioned side of things. So things like the QBFT consensus algorithm, and other things to do with private transactions and that sort of thing. So we sort of work in conjunction with them, and but we at Consensus are more focused on the mainnet side of Besu.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see how you balance these different use cases basically as Ethereum client, because also like you want to have some sustainability and business case. So I understand it's been a focus of the client before, but also the ecosystem or the market changed. Like I remember, like back in the earlier days, bunch of companies just excited about having their own private blockchains, which now rarely happens, I guess. So yeah, that's interesting development. Yeah, thanks so much, Sally. Yeah, nice. Yeah, we get a couple people leaving, but we still have some audience, folks. So folks, if you have some more questions, feel free to ask. Katya has another one also. Go ahead.
I would like to ask about work-life balance as a core developer, because sometimes it seems like they are really overloaded with the work, and especially to hear from a woman, it's interesting how you balance it.
Yeah, good question. Good question. I think as well with working from home, like it's pretty easy to just spend way too much time sitting at your desk because it's always there. So I think it is something to be mindful of for sure. How do we balance? So within it, so the BASU team, we're spread across several different time zones. So we have people in the US, people in Europe, and people in Australia. So I guess we're pretty deliberate with not expecting people to be online all the time, even though someone is online all the time. So we do try and sort of hand off things between the time zones and, different. So in Australia, I don't go to the all core devs, any of those calls because they're always on at midnight. I just can't do that. So we do try and make sure that we share the notes. Someone who goes to the call shares the notes. And we try and have a bit of a study group before those calls as well, so that even if we can't attend the calls, we can sort of be conversant in the issues and the EIPs that are being discussed and any decisions that are likely to be made and that sort of thing. So that's one thing that we do try and do within the team. We do try and have crossover meetings like with the different time zones so that, Australian people talk to Europeans at a couple of times a week, or and we talk to the US folks, on a different day and that sort of thing. My team is spread across Europe and Australia, so we sort of have calls at this time of the evening. But if I do, so for me, my work-life balance, I often take a few hours out during the day. If I know I'm going to have evening calls, I don't know what I do. Exercise is important, all the usual things. But it goes in waves too. So sometimes I, have a really busy week and I feel a bit smashed, and then I'll take an afternoon off, or we like to let people set their own hours as well. But I don't know. It's a continual struggle to find the balance, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe that was a terrible answer.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's a
Very
good answer
honest
because
answer.
yeah. I think we are all dealing with a similar problem, like working remotely as well, like managing your own time management in the day and focus on everything. Yeah.
And sometimes there is like a really critical, important issue that you do need to stay at your desk and finish off or hand over to someone else or whatever. But sometimes, some days there isn't, and you can take it a bit easier. So yeah, every day is not the same.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sally. Yeah, it's interesting. Awesome. Huh. Hi, folks. Okay, do we have more questions? We can. Okay, Irene. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, now more of a technical question. So Vitalik recently tweeted about ZK privacy. What's your take as a core dev on the privacy and anonymity side?
I have not read Vitalik's tweet, so I'm not sure of the context specifically. I think like privacy for some things is important. I don't know. What's your take on that, Irene?
It's more of my values more than the tech. So I'm still checking ZK, but not as a something technical, but more as a concept. I know that many layer 2s have been developed now. Let's see in the future. I don't know if it's just I don't know, just the hype of the moment, or is that there's gonna be some kind of future or some good ideas. For sure there is, but the economic incentives is always super strong. Because I know that as a core dev, layer 2s are also built on the top of what you are building. So you really can see people using what you're building at the core level.
Yeah, I think it probably makes sense for that sort of privacy to be in the layer 2 more than layer 1, maybe.
Yes, that for sure. Also, probably because it's super complicated to be like to go fully private on the layer 1, like basement. Yes. So do you see any values in like ZK-based projects? Not values, but like something that might be useful in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I think ZK can be used for loads of use cases. And there's a lot of development happening in that space.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Perfect.
Okay, thank you. And we have a couple hands up. I think Charlie was first.
Fastest finger first. I think it was very close. Hi, Sally. Sorry I was late. Just a quick question around like when you come to Ethereum to start with, it just seems like so unbelievably overwhelming with where you can start and the entire landscape that you can get into. Do you want to just talk a bit about your experience with that and where you decided to start? And oh, sorry, that's my daughter. On sort of like first taking the first few steps into the ecosystem and contributing.
Yeah. I remember reading the yellow paper. That was like I was told to start with the yellow paper. That was kind of intimidating, to be honest, at the time. I think starting with like a good first issue, starting with like an actual coding task that you can achieve and complete that doesn't require a lot of prior knowledge. Like, I think, especially if you're new to open source, if you're new to Ethereum, if you're new to any of that stuff, getting some small wins is empowering and lets you get all your tools set up and all that sort of stuff. And then tackling something a bit more complex.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the yellow paper, it's it's intimidating. It's true, and it's curious because yeah, yeah. I mean, for the execution, and because like last week we had Julio here from Aragon, and he's like the sort of the sort of a contrast here because like 22 years old and started much later than you, and he also got started with the yellow paper, although like it's a tough one, but that's what he got in. So okay, it's still strong. I respect that. Awesome. So Ellie has a question.
What are the aspects of a good PR to you?
Aspects of a good PR. Oh, good question. So I like a PR that's not too big. That like 20 files or less. 100 files is like, no, I'm I'm asking that person to break it down. Yeah, so not too big. A really good, crisp explanation in the PR description and the title. I find if you can look at your PR with the eyes of a reviewer and, does it make sense? What questions would I have if I was reviewing this? Where should someone start? So if something's like a one-line change, then it's really obvious when you're reviewing it what part you should look at and how you would structure your review. But if it's like 20 files and like 300 lines have changed, or like reading it from top to bottom isn't always the best approach. So sort of a start here, or like these are the most important changes that you should be looking at. Test coverage is really important. What else would I? If it should compile, like there's some checks in Besu. We've got a bit of a checklist on the PR template that says like, here are some things that you can run locally before you push your PR to like, ensure correctness. But not only to ensure correctness, but to ensure that your PR can be reviewed in a timely manner. So yeah, compile. We have a linter that you can run spotless, and some tests that you can run locally. Obviously, those tests also run on the PR once it's pushed to the environment. But if you can run them locally, that's gets you a review faster. So yeah, if your code doesn't compile, it can't really be reviewed, for example. So if you can fix those things before asking someone to review, then that's excellent.
Actually, some of the tests on the basic code base doesn't pass, and it is it might not be related to the PR.
Yeah. Do you want to? Can you post a message in our Discord for that?
Yeah, sure.
Because if that's true, that's something we should fix. If it's something specific to an environment or whatever, then that's something we should be aware of. But yeah, if there are tests that are not passing for you, yeah, shoot us a message in Discord.
Yeah, sure. It sounds like those tests are kind of old. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let us know.
Sure.
Cheers.
Very well, awesome. That was a great question, by the way. Maybe we have some more of those. Some more specific sort of advice you guys would like to learn. Feel free to ask. We covered many things already, both technical and sort of personal. Yeah, okay. I would ask a question then. If guys are giving me the space, I'm wondering how to phrase this. What is some fuck up you did? What is some some sort of issue you caused, some problems you had? Something that you had to, or maybe something that you think still back in your mind, like something that didn't go as you planned, and how did you fix it? How did you reconcile it? If there is something that comes to mind that that you had to deal with, I just want to show the guys that nobody's perfect.
Yeah. No, it's a great question, and I have a really good example of from recent memory. So I pushed a PR to the basic code base that fixed something, but it also broke like 1,000 Hive tests, and I didn't check the Hive tests on my PR. And someone approved my PR, and I merged it, and I didn't check those Hive tests until I went to do a release, which I'm still in the middle of doing. So yeah, that is definitely something that I feel badly about, and I'm still doing a personal retro of like how that happened, but also as that's something we need to address as a team, but also me as an individual. But yeah, there's automated tests. We have a lot of automated tests. Obviously, this is something that's not tested in the Besu automated tests, but it is in the Hive tests. So when there's automated tests, you should definitely take advantage of the automated tests, but also look at the results of the automated tests. So there you go. That's an example. So we had to revert that PR, and we'll have to refix that issue because it was an issue that someone reported of a discrepancy between Besu and other clients. But yeah, my fix was not good.
I see. Thank you so much. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, that's my goal here as well. Like, coming to Ethereum, like all these core devs, they seem like super experienced. They know everything. They're perfect. The geniuses working on these clients. So like, we are all people, and we're all learning. So just wanted to show that. Thank you so much, Sally. Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, there's no shame in reverting a PR. So don't feel bad if you have to revert someone else's PR. Don't feel bad if your PR gets. I mean, you can think about what you should have done differently, but it's not. You shouldn't be too attached to your code or your PRs.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. That's great advice. Nice. Yeah, that's lovely. We have last 10 minutes to go, folks. Feel free to use it to ask some more questions, please. And do get some more thoughts, more advice from Sally. Use the opportunity, please. Also got some people leaving and come in as I see. So if you just came, feel free to ask. Anyone? Otherwise, I will keep asking. So was it one thing, and I'm sorry if this is too personal. Like, feel free to stop me there. But I think in Interop that I learned that you raised a couple of kids during your career as well, and I find it so crazy, like being able to handle family and a big family. And we already had a question on this and the work-life balance, but like dealing with my partner, for example, like uh, she's so scared to have kids when focusing on the career, right? Like it's just it's hard to balance. So I'm wondering how did you manage? Like we already had a similar question, but like from the perspective also of family and having like so much responsibility on both ends, like you're really a superwoman there, like being able to handle both career and children and the household. Like how do you how do you manage? Like what is your hack there?
So my hack there is lower your expectations. So like, if if you think that you have to have like perfect children and a perfect house and a perfect, everything, like it's unachievable. So like my house is really messy. And my kids make their own lunchbox, and I don't care or see what they put in it. We I don't know. That's what I would suggest if you have children, is like that they are capable and they can do a lot for themselves. You don't have to do everything for them. Even from a young age, I would say they are more capable than a lot of people give them credit for. And, they get to make mistakes and have autonomy and make their own decisions and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, lower your expectations. That's what I would say if you're thinking about having children.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very interesting advice. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the ecosystem just getting older, having kids now, and it's a new challenge that comes in life. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much for saying. I very much respect that. Yeah, I mean, I come from a single parent family, so my mom working hard. I had to also take care of myself when I was little, sort of. Preparing my own lunch and stuff. So I totally agree. I respect that. That's interesting advice. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much, Sally. A bit more out of Ethereum question maybe, but maybe let's get back to the Ethereum and core development folks. If you have any thoughts, any more questions, Irene, yeah.
Yes, another question, a bit more technical this time. So, what you want to see changes in the Ethereum over the next few years? Like something that you would like to be improved or more developed or something like that?
Yeah. So I think there's been a lot of a push for scalability and sort of pushing the limits of performance and numbers and stuff. I think at some point we, like we'll get to a place where we've done that enough, like it's good enough, and we should be focusing on other things. I think we're maybe not quite there, but we're maybe getting there. Like I think Glamsterdam is going to be a bit of a focus on other things like EPBS and fossil. And for me, I think Ethereum, like it's sort of becoming I don't know if this is controversial, a bit like we're losing a little bit of the decentralized ideal with the push for, more and more, scalability, throughput, and, solo daycares are being pushed out a bit. Even the MEV and the public mempool is being starved of transactions, and I think this is where encrypted mempools is maybe going to help. So that's something that I'm a little bit excited about. I don't know a lot about it, but it sounds cool.
Perfect, thank you. So in terms of scalability, you mean like increasing the throughput so that like we can like reach the mass adoption, or scalability in terms of
so pushing the gas limit, like that's something that we're really focused on right now. But like, I don't know, like, can we just keep pushing it higher and higher? I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe.
Totally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Rahul has a question. Rahul, if you're with us.
Am I audible now?
Yep.
Yeah. So I have this question, like, what do you think about this whole push for RISC V5 architecture? Like the whole, like everyone pushing for that. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so that's an area that we're in research stages of at the moment with Besu. So I don't have a firm opinion on that, but it's definitely something we're looking into.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, another question on the future of RISC-V there. Like it's all still in the stars, guys. Yeah. Right now we have the proper execution client still chugging along with regular gas. And oh yeah, maybe that's one thing I was curious about. I also asked a bit about optimization there, but maybe if you have some insight into how you guys handle the new gas increases, like it was the whole performance research and going now to 45 million, 60 million. What BESU specific changes you had to do? Were some interesting changes or optimizations that you did in the client to be able to handle it?
Yeah, so at the Berlin Interop, ModX was the big one that a lot of clients had to make changes to and optimize that one. We're looking at EC Recover, EC Add. There's a few mod opcodes, but yeah, we're just going by the benchmarks, and they're sort of highlighting different use case or different test cases that the different clients need to optimize to go to the next level of gas. But yeah, some of it's native optimization, Java native. Some of it's opcodes. Some of it's precompiles. It's just kind of methodically working their way through whatever test case sort of pings the alert and optimizing. So yeah, it's kind of there's a process of looking at the benchmarks, gathering the data, figuring out what optimization to make, and then rerunning the benchmarks, making sure that you've warmed up your JVM. It's very important.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you, Sally. Awesome. Okay, last few minutes, folks. I give you the opportunity for one last question if there is anyone who wants to ask. Please do use it. Okay, Rahul has another one.
Yeah. So maybe another live question. So, how do you think, like personally, what do you find is has better output, like being a generalist or like contributing to one specific niche thing? Yeah, I mean that's a question. Like,
What has better output? It probably depends how you measure output. I think in a team, it's really good to have a mix of both. So to have specialists and generalists. I think if you're an individual working on an individual project, you probably need to, dive deep into whatever thing it is that you're working on. So you probably need to be a specialist in that thing. But every now and then you might need to sort of zoom back out and be more, have more of a generalist view of how does this fit in with, the landscape or the ecosystem or other things that are coming up or whatever. So you probably need to do both as an individual, but it's hard to do both at the same time. So you might need to, schedule focus time and then schedule project management time or something like that.
Got it. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, personally, I had this problem because I had to drop off some things because of some personal reasons or some XYZ reasons. But yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the last question there. We are at the full hour now, so we should wrap it up. I'm just going to ask one more time for any last thoughts or advice or anything you would like to share before we finish.
No, I think we covered a lot. We covered a lot of ground. We covered some technical questions and some philosophical questions and some work-life balance questions.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was really great. Thank you so much, Sally. I think we learned a lot. We get inspired. I really appreciate you taking the evening to chat with us. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here, and have a great rest of the day. I hope to see you around again in some of the interops maybe, or around in PRs, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me, and appreciate the great work that you're doing, Mario, coordinating the EPF program. And thanks everyone for joining and doing the great work and learning everything from the get-go.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone, and bye bye.